All right, we turn now to the business of politics. Joining us, Orange County Register political reporter Peggy Lowe here in studio. Glad to have you on, Peggy.
Hi, guys.
All right, let's start first of all with the judge okaying the release of the grand jury transcripts in regard to the death of John Chamberlain, the inmate that was killed in the jailhouse beating death. Have you seen the transcript?
No, I haven't. This story just broke this afternoon. It's being covered by our KOCE reporter, a guy named Larry Wellborn, but it's an incredible story, and I think it's so good for the county because what this means is that the public will know what actually happened that night at Theo Lacey when John Chamberlain was killed. What that means is that we will see nearly 8,000 pages of the grand jury's report, and that's just going to be a really fascinating tale of what happened that night, what went wrong in that jail, that deputies essentially allowed that guy to get beat.
Okay, so at this point, what do we actually know? What we're looking at, whose testimony, but in addition to, this is what's going to be released.
Right. There's testimony from all the witnesses, meaning other inmates, deputies, that kind of thing. And the judge today, too, in his decision, also said that he's going to redact some information. For instance, the personnel issues, the people from the sheriff's department,
which you have
four
to do by
guys.
Law, right?
You have to do that by law. It's a very strict Peace Officers Bill of Rights, as well as some evidence about policies and procedures in the jail, because the judge said, hey, if another inmate learned about this, they could manipulate the system.
Right.
So very little will be redacted. Again, I think it's just such a great decision for public access.
But it's not something that's mandatory to release these documents, or is it?
No, it's not mandatory, but it was being fought by the Sheriff's Department because the Sheriff's Department didn't want anything released, and the DA's office did. And certainly lawyers for both the Orange County Register and the Los Angeles Times also were arguing for the public's right to know for the First Amendment on this issue.
Okay. Moving on, more opposition from the city of Orange as well as the city of Irvine. Their city councils on the expansion of the Theo Lacey and the music jails. Talk a little bit more about what they're opposed to.
Lots of jail news this week, the last few weeks, and you sort of have to wonder whether, you want to say to Acting Sheriff Jack Anderson, are you sure you want this job?
Yeah.
And all the other guys that are running for it, too, because, I mean, it's very controversial. But the Irvine City Council and the Orange City Council have both said that they don't want any expansions of the jails in their towns. Music is in Irvine, and Theo Lacey is in Orange. And Orange, a couple of councilmen yesterday said they're going to sue if the county moves to expand Theo Lacey.
But they're running out of room.
Serious.
I mean, the projections and the numbers show that by 2011, we're going to need upwards of 2,000 more beds. Where are we supposed to go?
That's exactly right, and that's exactly what the Sheriff's Department is saying. Where will we go? And right now, they're up for some state money, about $100 million that they'll know about in May whether or not they get that. But to get that, they have to add these parolee beds at Theo Lacey and to expand music. So that's the deal.
Yeah. All right. It's going to get ugly before
it gets pretty.
Better. That's true.
As if jails could ever be pretty, but that's another story.
Ken Maddox had tossed his hat in the ring to go for the sheriff's race, and now has decided to collect his hat and take it home.
In fact, he's going to run for the San Juan Cap school board. So
he's a recall there, right?
Right. He was a former state assemblyman and one of the millions who seem to be running for the sheriff's gig, and he stepped out to do the San Juan Cap thing. So meanwhile, today, Paul Walters, the Santa Ana police chief, he's hired some really powerful political consultants to help him try to get that gig. So that was kind of some breaking news on the blog this afternoon.
Okay. Any other surprises in the run for the sheriff's department?
No, other than all the people that want it. I mean, even as we talk about all these jail overcrowding issues and cleaning up a department after, the former sheriff, Mike Corona, was indicted, whoever gets this job is going to have a lot on their hands.
Oh.
And a full plate.
And a full plate, all of those metaphors. Mike Schroeder is suing Debbie Cook due to ballot language.
Right. Debbie Cook, mayor of Huntington Beach. She's running against Dana Rohrabacher, the Republican incumbent for Congress, right?
Right.
So Mike Schroeder decides that she shouldn't be able, this is kind of insider stuff, but it's interesting in that it's Mike Schroeder.
Sure.
He's kind of
everywhere.
the kingpin. Yeah, he's everywhere. And he always does seem to like to sue women. We wonder why. He doesn't like female candidates, I don't think. He's sued Loretta Sanchez. He's sued now Debbie Cook, Janet Wynn, Lynn Dauscher. But anyway, I digress.
It could just be a coincidence.
Coinky dinky?
But the Debbie Cook issue is over what she's called on the ballot because she wasn't elected mayor, and he doesn't want her to be called mayor, correct?
Right. Okay. But a state appeals court judge this afternoon said, forget about it. She gets to be called the Huntington Beach mayor on the ballot.
Tossed it out.
So she's,
Okay.
yeah, so she won, Mike lost. Again.
All right, very good. Thank you so much, Peggy, for coming in. Always enlightening.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon.